Well, hello and welcome to what I'm going to call my gardening section of my YouTube channel. This is going to be kind of an experiment because I'm still learning, and this summer I'm going to attempt to make a cut flower garden. So I bought these Jiffy Greenhouses. I bought two of them. There's 50 cells, and you add water to them, the soil expands, then you plant your seeds, and then when you transplant it, the soil is already in its like little netting, and then that just decomposes as the plant gets bigger. I'm in zone 6, I think. That's what Burpee told me anyway when I went online to order seeds. They said, I put in my zip code and they said I'm zone 6. I'm going to start first with straw flower. And when I got these seeds, they didn't have a picture of what it looked like, so I went to their website and I printed out these colorful pictures so that I know what I'm growing or can remember what I'm growing. So we're starting first with straw flower. Then I'm going to try cosmos because I hear that those are pretty much easy to grow and are great for the cut flower garden. And I happen to get the kind that look like this. So I think those will be pretty. And then I got Snapdragon, and they said for cut gardens you should make sure you get the tall ones, but I didn't get the super tall. These are a semi-dwarf, and that's what those are going to look like. Then I got some calendula. It's the Oktoberfest, so we got some orange ones there. And then we got, I don't know how you say that, but it's Queen Anne's lace because I needed a filler. So we'll try growing some of that. And then I got, I guess you call this Gomfrena. I have never heard of this flower before, but I like the way it looked, so I bought some. And then we've got cornflower, also known as, I think, bachelor buttons. And that's what those are going to look like. And then out of all these, I've grown zinnias before, and I love them, so I for sure wanted to have the cut and come again zinnias. But I also found these zinnias that are called raspberry lemonade, and I thought they had a unique look to them. And then, not for the cut flower garden, but just for fun, I bought some mammoth sunflower seeds because I'm going to plant some of those around the border of my yard in the backyard. I don't know how those are going to do. I don't know if I have enough sun for them, but I'm hoping that I'm going to have a little row of sunflowers, giant sunflowers. Now, I don't have a lot of space in my yard for gardening. I'll probably take you on a little tour here in another video clip and show you, well, actually, we could go there now. It looks pretty bad right now because it's early spring, but I'll show you sort of what my plan is and where I'm going to plant these. Okay, so right in front of my house here underneath my front window, I have this planter, but it gets very shaded by my tree. So this is pretty much an area where I can only put shade-loving plants. And then in the front porch here, I have these two very small garden beds. And they get some sun, but not full day sun. So in the past, I've usually put in a variety of either I'll put some petunias, or zinnias do pretty well here. So I'll probably do a lot of my zinnias here. So that's the only garden spot I have. So the place where I'm going to be growing most of my flowers this year are going to be in a raised tiered garden bed, and I'll show you that. Okay, I took you into the garage here to show you what the it's a Eden 3-tier raised garden table. Now, I bought two of these. My husband found them on Amazon, and I bought two of them way back in February, and I'm so glad I did because they seem to be out of stock now. This one's still in the box, but I did assemble one, and pardon the mess in my garage, but it went together pretty easily, pretty quickly. And you can see it's a pretty good size. And it even comes with the kind of like little inserts to put the dirt in. They're just like little mesh, what do you call it? Just to hold the dirt, but lets the water run through it. But these are really nice. I said they went together pretty easy, and then I just, there's a drainage hole. Probably do a couple more drainage holes there, but it's not going to be a ton of room, so I guess my idea is going to be to put 6 different types of flowers in here. So each each little tiered shelf, I guess you would call it, is going to have a flower in it, a type A flower. So I need to figure out which ones are going to get the tallest and put those in the back. And yeah, just experiment. But it's not a whole lot of growing room. So, you know, I might only get, like, depending on how big they get, like only 3 of each kind of plants. So that's why the zinnias are definitely going to go out in the front yard so that I can have a lot of those. But yes, I have some basil that I grow in a container that comes back every year in my backyard too. So that I'm going to use as some greenery, as some filler. So, well, come along with my journey. We'll see. I'll either be successful or it will be a fail. Either way, you probably will see it. So, okay, let's get started planting some seeds. Seeds planted, so I planted a whole bunch of zinnias because I like those the best, and then I planted 1 row of all of the others except for the snapdragons. I did 2 rows of those, and the sunflowers I did 2 rows of those. So we'll see how it goes. I'll check in and as soon as the seedlings start popping up. It's time to check on the seedlings, and I see green. It's only been 3 days, and look at what I'm seeing. So these are the cut and come again zinnias, and we're talking 3 days, which means that if I would have looked at them yesterday, I probably, gosh, maybe they would have even started like the next day. So let's see, these are the other zinnias right here. Not all of them are coming up, but I'm impressed. They are fast. Okay, let's go downstairs and see the other ones. Okay. Looks like we got a couple of the cornflowers going. Looks like the gomphrena not showing any signs of life yet. The calendula, nothing, but ooh, look at the cosmos. Doesn't look like the daffodils are doing anything, or the sunflowers. So I just have these under sort of indirect grow lights. This is where I keep my succulents. I moved some of them out of the way, and I just aimed the lights up instead because I didn't want them to be, you know, too harsh. And so they're just getting some indirect light from the window too. So looking pretty good. Okay, this is just 1 day later, and we have some sunflowers popping up. that pretty much happened overnight. All right, it is officially 7 days since planting my seedlings. And these are the zinnias. Doing well. I know that I need to thin them soon, which I hate because I want them all to survive. These are the other zinnias, the pink lemonade. I think those are what they were called. And if you notice, you may have remembered or noticed when I was planting these that this packet didn't come with very many seeds. So I only put one seed in each pod, and almost all of them took. So yeah, I'll be thinning these out. I need to read and see when I do that. And let's go downstairs and look at all the rest. We've got the cornflowers all seem to have come up, and the gomphrenias, it looks like there's one in the back so far. So a couple of those coming up. Looks like a few of the calendulas. The cosmos are continuing to do well. And finally, these came up. Actually, I think I noticed one of these in the last clip too, but overlooked it. Which one is that? Oh yes, those are the Queen Anne's lace. And then we've got the straw flowers. Not all of them have come up, but a few of them have. And then the snapdragons are starting to come up, and they're so tiny. They look so fragile. Especially because I put them next to the sunflowers, which are just huge in comparison. I will help them along by pulling some of these little seeds off of them there so they can spread their wings. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded so you can see it so far and hold myself accountable to actually continue to do something with these this summer. All right, wish me luck. I wanted to pop in here real quick and talk about a couple of things because I keep saying in my video that it's an experiment and that I'm trying something new, and I should probably explain why it is what it is exactly that I'm trying new. For one is those flowers that you've seen me in my garden that you saw that I grew in the past. None of those were started from seed. Those were all bought at the nursery. So it's kind of an experiment because I think I tried growing some flowers from seedlings many years ago, and I didn't ever get them in the ground after, they started to grow. So I've never successfully planted, a bunch of, like a full garden out of seeds. So that's why it's an experiment. Okay, that's not necessarily true. I have actually grown a garden by throwing seeds in the dirt after all danger of frost is gone. I've done that with zinnias before, and I think some smaller snapdragons. And sometimes I just throw in seeds from plants that I bought at the nursery at the end of the year when they have seeds like the cone flowers. Those have just sort of dropped their own seed and have grown their own. So I can't say I haven't technically grown anything from seed before. I've just not successfully grown any from seed that I've started indoors, if that makes sense. Okay, just needed to add that. Second, it's an experiment because I'm, for the first time ever, growing in a raised garden bed. And since I've never grown most of these flowers before, I don't know how big they're going to get, or I don't know how much space they're going to take up. So that's one thing that I'm kind of trying new is, a raised garden bed. But I was looking at these the seed packets, and I was noticing that some of them say to sow after danger of frost has passed, and some of them say to sow indoors, to start indoors. So I guess what I'm wondering now after I planted all these seedlings is maybe I'm not supposed to maybe it wasn't really wise that I started those all indoors, and I don't really know. I don't know if it doesn't say to start it indoors if you can and still have success. So we'll see. I did save plenty of seeds though, that in case the ones I started indoors don't work, I will be able to throw some in the ground too and just, let them start outside. So like I said, experiment. And I also wanted to talk, because I know somebody might ask, I briefly glossed over it, but when I ordered these from Burpee, the packets that came, they didn't have pictures on them. So I was a little surprised to see that, and I like to have the pictures on my seed packets. So I went into Photoshop, and you can probably do it in any photo editing software. I just happen to know Photoshop, but I just went in there and I took screenshots up on the Burpee website, took the screenshots, and then I brought them into a document in Photoshop that's 300 dpi. That way when you print it out, it looks nice. And then I sized them down to a good size. I made two different sizes. I made a size that would match, that would fit on the packet, and then I also, if you noticed when I had my seedlings, I also shrunk them down and made the same pictures in, like, maybe they were about an inch or so. And that's what I attached to the stakes so that I could put those in the garden. So yeah, that's, I already know because somebody already asked me on Instagram how I did that, and I know somebody on here is probably going to ask, so that's how I did. Just a little bit of Photoshop skills back from my digital scrapbooking days. Okay, I was reading the seed packets to see at what point I need to thin these, and it says pretty much for all of them to thin when they're about 1 to 2 inches tall. So that would be now. So I just brought my camera up here, and I thought I would do a little bit of thinning. Let me move over here a little bit. So obviously I want to keep the strongest one. Let me see if I can do this with this camera in my face. Now, this just is really sad. I giveth life, and then I taketh away. Am I the only one that's bothered by doing this? I want to give them all a chance. Let's see. Ooh, there's 3 of them in here. Oh. Luckily, most of them only have one, and I don't have to make a choice. Ooh, look at this one. He's kind of off to the side a little bit, so yeah, he's going to have to go. Sorry, little guy. Ooh, that one's got a good root going. I might have to use both hands here. Oh, there we go. R.I.P. little guy. Say goodbye to one more. Oh, that is so sad. Alright, I'll let these get a little bit bigger before I thin them out. I think I have completed all of the thinning. Survival of the fittest. I didn't always take the tallest one. Sometimes I just took the one that was in the center and just the one that looked the healthiest. So, alright. Feels like the Hunger Games.